Good evening, all. Happy New Year. Hope you've all had a good Christmas break and enjoying lockdown if you're in the UK. So tonight, round 7 was supposed to be the last round, but things got shuffled around. And we're at the iconic Spa circuit, Spa GP. Long old track, but yeah, it's a good track, I suppose. I was trying to find something positive about it. I actually quite like Spa, but
And that was
it's a long. You've got to concentrate a lot because it's almost like 3 little tracks with different sections. But anyway, I digress. So as usual, I have Phil and Ruben with me tonight. Good evening, lads. Hope we're all well.
Evening, Mark. Evening, Ruben.
All good. All good.
And also, just to let the lads know, in race control, our stellar team of Neil, Aaron, and Ed are in the house. So good evening, boys. They will be keeping an eye on proceedings as usual, although I don't anticipate too many incidents on this track because it's a nice big track, except Eau Rouge when they all go a bit bananas. But there you go. So what's your thoughts tonight then, Ruben? I've not seen any of the practice sessions, so I don't know who's quickest. I don't know who's moaning about what, but I'm sure you're the mole in the camp. You can tell us all about it.
Well, it's going to be close. Looking to the lap times we saw yesterday in the official practice session, free practice 2, and then tonight as well. It's so close as we've pretty much seen all season long. And again, it's the usual suspects in front. But maybe if someone has a good lap in qualifying, we may get a 2:15. The temperature is quite low tonight. It's 21 track temp. So that makes for some quicker laps. But maybe we get in the 2:15s. We saw, I think, a 2:15.8 yesterday during the practice session. And otherwise, it will be low 2:16s. It may come down to the last minute of qualifying again. I don't think it's going to be as close as we saw last week at Interlagos, where the top 3 was separated by 0.06 of a second. But who knows? Maybe it will be even the top 5. You'll never know.
I think race pace would be interesting. I suspect Spa tends to be a track where people start spreading out because it's such a big track.
Well, it's a big track, but the thing with Spa also is that the off tracks on this track are quite a B, to keep it pretty decent. So it's quite difficult, and especially during qualifying. I think the boys are lucky that they have a 25-minute qualifying session and not the mandatory 2 solo laps that you get in iRacing yourself, because it's so easy to make a mistake and just mess up your whole qualifying. During race pace, I think we'll be in the 2:17s. I reckon maybe in the start of the race with fresher tires, or after pit stop, some higher 2:16s. It's going to be close, but it will all come down to who's being the most consistent. We know Peter has quite the lead in the championship. I reckon Phil
just
can
having a
bring
little
that
look.
up.
So, move it whilst you mention it. Have you got a picture, Phil, that we can chuck up? There we go. Look at that, right on cue.
A picture.
So, well, I can't think straight today. It's been a long old day again, unfortunately. Week back to work and all that. So, as you can see, Peter Smith currently charging away and can wrap it up tonight, looking at the difference. 29 points ahead with 139 points for the season. Only this week at Spa and next week at Silverstone, which was the rearranged race. Peter can sew it up tonight. He doesn't have to go nuts and win it, but I think basically as long as he finishes ahead of Luke, he wraps it up. Oh, blimey, what's going on there? Sorry, got just looking in the background there. So Peter's currently ahead, 29 points ahead of Luke in second, who's had some good results last 3 weeks. He's had a podium in each of them. Nacho Gaspar is also putting in a strong showing towards the end of the season. He's on 107 points. And then there's a little gap with Jaime Torres, Mark Fletcher, Stephen Bird, all in the 80s. So I think realistically you're looking, I think Peter's won it, I suspect. And then there's a toss-up between Luke and Nacho for second. And I suspect, the rest of the best for fourth onwards, I think. But we'll see. Funny things have happened. We've had that proven before in previous seasons. Let's see how it pans out. I think everyone who's been racing consistently have all scored. So the ones that haven't scored haven't raced for a while, I don't believe.
No. Apart from Jess White, unfortunately. It would be nice if Jess will be able to score a point tonight, or maybe in the last race of the season. But apart from Jess White, all the others who are on 0 points haven't raced anymore. So yeah.
How many runners and riders we got tonight? Do you know? 20 odd again, I'm assuming.
I think it was about 26, 27 drivers tonight on track.
I believe it was 27.
Point for 20th, I believe, isn't it? So it's doable. You know, you can have a few that are going to have some problems and either connection issues or misjudged corners or whatever you want to call it. So it's possible if you concentrate. It's the sort of circuit where you can do it on, because you make a mistake here, it costs you a lot of time if you have an accident on this track.
Yeah.
We'll see how that pans out then. So what else is going on in the world that we need to chat about then? I'm sure I haven't got the stream on. I'll have to get the stream on in a sec, but I know there's a couple of people asking what we're doing next season, so we've not quite decided yet, but we've got a couple of ideas, and I suspect we shall announce that next week in the finale.
So everything will be released by next Wednesday. So on next Wednesday during the stream, we'll announce what the actual next season is. There will be a gap week the following week, so don't worry, you're not going to have to panic and decide what you're going to be choosing car wise, or if it is multi car. But yeah, everything will be released next week. There will be a gap week, so the new season will start on the 27th of January, and then there will be a gap week after week 6 to allow for week 13 for iRacing to take place and not completely ruin our evening of league racing as they normally do. So
hell, maybe we even do a fun race or something like that if iRacing allows it. But I think we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just for those who are in the Discord, can keep an eye on the Discord, and we may announce something.
Yeah, we'll have a little look. So by all means, always interesting bit of feedback. So chuck something in the comments if you like, and we'll take it into account. Oh, look at that Ferrari! Oh.
Thank you for the follow, Maria Gaspar.
Blimey, he's got the family in tonight, is
He may has.
He watched Driver of the Day, did he? Let's have a little look what's going on here then. So Luke McKeown at the moment is posted on 2:16.57. That's pretty quick. Peter Smith just behind him with 2:16.83. So Mohamed Yanko again, he's put in so far another good quali session. He's had last couple of weeks some very good qualifying results. Unfortunately hasn't managed to translate it into race results, but it's nice to see he's got the pace.
He seemed reasonably strong as well last night during the practice session, where he put in good lap times to be in the top 10. So maybe this tonight will be one of his best races for this season. So we'll have to wait and see how that will plan out for him. I do think, as we all can see for now, although it's just provisional, that the Audi and McLaren seems to be the better cars for tonight's track. Looking at Peter Smith's gaps, he just needs to finish in the points, and preferably in front of Luke, and he may seal the deal tonight for the championship.
Yeah, I think even if he finishes behind Luke, I think he's still going to win. I think he needs a bit of a...
He needs that 25
exactly.
points gap, doesn't he?
So. And he can afford 25 because he has a better win ratio than anyone else. So I don't think anyone else can match him from memory.
True, but I don't think you want to let it come that close again like last season.
No, I'm sure he'll wrong his rights. But in fairness, the form's there. Peter's finished on the podium in every single race. So he's had 3 wins, 2 silvers, or 2 seconds, and a third. So even if Luke wins the next 2, it's unfortunately not going to be good enough on countback. So but it's interesting, like I say. But I think Peter's wrapped it up really. He's been very, very consistent this season, and he hasn't got to break his neck to do anything today. So it's a shame really, because it would have been good for this to be the last race of the season at Spa, but
well, that was the way it was supposed to be. Yeah, that's the way it was supposed to be planned.
Instead.
Can't blame me.
No, we have to blame iRacing for that one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We could have done Silverstone tonight, really, couldn't we? And just pushed Spa to the end, but never mind. Done now. So is it sunsetting or sun rising at the moment then?
The sun is setting.
Ooh,
So
we could have a night race then.
We are, I believe, the last
Well-
10 minutes may start to get dark.
Is it? Oh, that's disappointing. I thought we were going to have a night race.
How much time is there, sim time wise, between the qualifying and race? It's just going to carry over, I reckon.
I don't know. What's the
Because
settings?
it's 4 p.m. So I don't know how dark it's gonna be, but the sun will be setting. That's one thing that's for sure.
Well, if it was 4 based on real time in the real world at this point in time, it'd be dark already, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I know Phil had to do some special things
Some skullduggery, did he?
to make sure that the track was raceable tonight.
Some bodging.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't select the 6th of January as a race date for Spa, so you have to.
Is that because it's Alpine skiing day or luge or something?
Yeah, probably because it's covered in snow or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have to say it to somewhere like Bathurst, set the date to the 6th of January, and then
just see palmiate it.
Yeah, change the track back. So.
Okay, I see. So
a little bit of manipulation to our racing.
I should have left it in the snow. That would have been interesting with these cars.
Thanks for the follow, Niels. Niels Next Level Racing.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Are they doing dynamic weather still to come, or?
I believe it will come. It's because iRacing is just an evolutionary thing, so it'll always develop.
It may take a year or two, 3.
It may
4.
take a while, but it will arrive.
I suspect you'll end up racing without variable weather on anyway. I just think it'll be. Can you imagine the mayhem pouring rain? I remember in Formula One, that was like.
Yeah, but it did made for some seriously good racing, though. It was a proper show to watch. So I mean,
yeah, especially a track like this where you'll be raining at one end of the track and it'll be fine at the other end.
Yeah.
So who are we on board with? Peter Smith at the moment. So it's coming round sort of the last third of the track. So coming up to the long straight from memory and then the bus stop, if my memory is right. So just coming down here.
Going through Blanchimont.
Oh, there. Doing your homework again. Coming up to the bus stop.
Pretty much everyone knows that that's Blanchimont.
Of course they don't. Do even. Yeah.
You sure remember it if you don't get it right?
Oh, yeah. This bit, yeah. The amount of people who stood there, it was unbelievable. So I'm guessing, looking at the lap times, you're looking around 19-ish laps for the race, I would have thought, based on 45 minutes in the pit stop. So on that basis, I'm guessing they'll start pitting around lap 13, 14. I'm pretty sure this is pretty thirsty for fuel, I'm guessing, due to the length and the fast straights on it.
Phil, are you sure you want to put Kieran on again?
Yeah, go on, let's see him spin. Go on. So he's not quite in the top 10. He has been in the top 10 for the last 3 or 4 rounds from memory. So, yeah, be looking to obviously increase. He's not that far behind, actually, Mark Fletcher, who's currently sitting in 10th. He is quite tight, though, from sort of 5th onwards. There's not a lot in the intervals there, is there?
No.
Let's take a look at the gaps.
This is gap from the leader, I assume, isn't it?
Yeah, this gap from the leader. So, yeah, 1 second between.
So our token 1 second being 16 or 17 places is down to 10, which is in line with what you were saying earlier, Ruben, about the gaps tend to be a bit wider on a longer track.
Yeah.
So who are we waiting for to do a lap? Let's have a quick look at the board. We've got Joe Evans, Stephen Futers. I'm not sure is in session. Is he in the session?
I think he is.
And Aaron Taylor has yet to put a lap in.
Aaron Taylor's the one of the race control who
joined. He's been racing all of a sudden.
Who joined the wrong way.
Well, Go
It's
on,
all right.
have a race, Aaron.
He should
We
know
won't
his
tell
system,
anyone.
but yeah.
Yeah, speak about bodging. So in fairness, Joe Evans and Jez White have done a couple of laps, but obviously, I presume exceeded track limits somewhere or had a little spin or something because they haven't recorded a time. So Cone, 15 minutes gone. So Luke McKeon still holding pole position with a 2:16.568. Peter Smith in second currently, just under 3 tenths behind. Mohamed Yanko again, a tenth behind Peter, who's just going out on track as we speak. Nacho Gaspar, another tenth behind in fourth. Jaime Torres, 100th behind. So they're teammates, aren't they, I believe, for the R70 racing team.
Yes.
And then Billy Fletcher, he's top 6. He's the fastest Lambo at the moment. And then look at that. There's a rare spotted beast, a Fezzer behind him in 7th. So just having a little look at Jaime Torres at the moment and Nacho Gaspar.
We actually have 5 Ferraris in the session, so the numbers are growing.
But they're always near the back, aren't they? It's not often they're at the top end, let's say. Hashtag BOP increase.
Well, I mean, looking at last week at Interlagos, we saw the Ferraris doing quite reasonably.
It suited them, didn't it? But I think they'll get nailed on. Mind you, they used to be, I suppose it's the balance, they keep changing it, don't they? But they used to be quite quick. But I suppose it depends what car they want to sell. They need to make Lambo a little bit quicker, wouldn't they? So come on then. You haven't done it all season, so let's have a prediction from you, Ruben. Come on.
No, I'm still not doing it.
Oh, God damn it.
Mate, for 4 seasons in a row, I've jinxed people when I gave them a prediction. I may have it right about 2 times, but that's about it. So I'll leave that up to you, mate. I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I think Peter will wrap it up tonight. So there you go. Nothing exciting in my prediction there. So Morgan Thompson's just gone in the Fezzer, just as we speak, into 3rd. And that's not bad, actually. He's 3 tenths behind, roughly. And just as I say that, Nacho Gaspar and the Audi goes 2nd. So we've got an Audi front row at the moment.
Yeah, that was a good lap from Nacho Gaspar. He's close to Luke McKeon, and he's still got about 8 minutes left. So will it come down to that final lap in qualifying again? We see quite a lot of support for Nacho in the Twitch chat. Unfortunately,
yeah, there is.
My Spanish isn't that good.
Nor mine.
But
I think it says something along the lines of "Go Nacho, you're the best." Is one of them. Yeah, they're just all supporting him. He's 2nd. Come on. Yeah. So yeah, just a bit. He's obviously got the family voting him for driver of the day later, so we won't be taking odds on that at the moment. He's doing a David Fasoli where every man and his dog that was related to him voted for him.
there you go. Magic Nacho.
There you are.
So quite a lot of people on their out lap.
Yeah, well, you're getting to that window now where if you don't get out, you're not going to get a lap in. So what we got now is 25 minutes here, isn't it? So we've got 2.5 minutes. Yeah, it's you're going to get warm up +2 at best. So like you said, though, as long as you don't bodge it in the bus stop or before that, otherwise you're going to have a crap second lap, aren't you? It's really important to get this section right to get a good exit speed out of this corner here.
Yeah, and I think you at such a track with the temperatures being a little bit lower than what we normally have, you want to have the tires up to the perfect temperature as well to get the maximum grip out of the car. And I think it's probably lap 3, and that's also probably the reason why a lot of people are coming out now to, like you say, come across the line and have a go at 2 more qualifying laps before the qualifying session is over.
So is it the start there, or is it the GP pit start?
I believe the
It's
start is
isn't
the
it the
GP
GP?
start line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
because if it's endurance, then it's on the second start line.
Oh, okay. Right, who should we go on board with then? Who's out on? Anyone doing a fast one at the moment on the sectors?
Let me see. Not seeing anybody putting any super fast sectors on this lap, so 4 minutes left to go. 4 minutes 15 seconds.
So it's Adam Southgate in the Mercedes with half his steering wheel missing.
It's the lightweight option.
It needs to be. It's late quick enough. Oh, I'm just trying to work out where we are on the track.
Oh, that's
Oh,
some. That's a little
bit
bit
low,
blinding,
isn't
I
it?
reckon, going through Pulhan.
Ooh. Sorry, boss, didn't see you with the sun that low. So this track is, I've done quite a few laps, I suppose, like everyone else who used to play this game, and in my head it was always split into three areas or sections of track. You had the nice fast section 1, if you like, and then you had all the twisty technical bits, and then opens out again. You try and split it into 3 in your head.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see as it gets a bit cooler if people have a problem here. Because I remember early days there used to be a lot of problems on these corners here. People bury the power a little bit early and spin the car.
Yeah, it's quite easily done though.
Still, right, it hasn't changed.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily only on the braking. It's also trying to avoid the inside curb of the bus stop too much. 'Cause if you hit that a
Unsettled
little
it.
bit too much, it definitely unsettles the car. So, especially for, say, the first 2 laps when the tires are still a little bit cold, you definitely want to stay away from that curb to avoid it from spinning around.
Yeah, T1 from memory, a lot of people tend to go wide here as well, especially at the start like that. Obviously not trying to pile into each other, but so far this season everyone's behaved themselves into a sharp T1. So we'd expect the same tonight. Yes, just looking at the times, this is, isn't it? No one's putting anything mildly rapid in at the moment.
It could be due to track
Yeah,
track
that's what I'm thinking.
temperature.
It's probably getting colder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Phil,
But then
can you
normally
put
on iRace, I was going to say
sorry?
normally on iRacing that makes it go faster if it goes colder. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, people are maybe still putting some temperature into the tires, and it may come down to that final lap in qualifying. So I think we still have to wait and see what will happen when the checkered flag has fallen for this session and people are still on their lap. What's the overall interval? There we have it. So up until P15, it's literally 1 second. And to P20, it's 1.8. So overall, again, really, really close.
Yeah, bearing in mind this is probably not far off twice the length of a normal track, inverted commas there.
he's not
There's
carrying on
some
with that lap.
milestones
Had enough
a
there.
little bit too wide.
Kieran's on a fastish lap, or personal fastish lap, in 14th at the moment. See if he can break into the top 10. He's just coming up to the line, is he?
Still in P14.
Ooh. So Aaron Rose is on a fast lap as well. We're currently on board with in another Mercedes.
But if you want to look at something that's close, look at Lewis Rose, Mark Fletcher, Aaron Rose, and Callum Brand. Separated by
You get at least a Rizzler's paper between all them, wouldn't you?
yeah, 1600ths of a second.
2 Lambos and a Merc. So at the moment, top 3 are all Audis as predicted earlier.
Well, that looked like Aaron Rose got a little bit too wide there on the exit at Blanchimont, so I don't
Peter
think
Smith.
this lap will count.
Peter Smith
Yeah.
just went into
Just
P3
improved.
with a 2:16.
0.6, just as
2:16.6,
the
yeah.
flag gets thrown down, so he will get another lap in. Actually, or will they? What's the cooldown time? Is it 2 minutes?
3 minutes.
Oh, is
It'll
it
be-
3? So yeah,
Just
yeah,
over 3 minutes. So
they've got enough time to get another one in.
yeah. And while we said it, Aaron Rose got up to P10 with a 217.2. The 3 people we see in the bottom of our screen, Callum Brandt, Mark Fletcher, and Billy Fletcher, don't seem to be on a quicker lap. Although maybe they can pull something off in those last 2 sectors. You never know.
So
It's gone wide there.
saying the Merc is the best car. Not so
Weird.
sure that the stats agree with you there. It's only the 10th best car.
Well, I suppose when you work there, you've got to agree with it.
Numbers a bit low, are they? The sales numbers.
And Kieran Smart coming up to the line. Let's see. Nope.
Oh, he did. He went into P10.
Oh,
just
yeah,
jumped
he did.
5 positions, P10.
It took a little bit to come in, but well done by Kieran. Nacho Gaspar also on a good lap. Let's see what happens when he comes across the line. And he stays in P2.
And he's the last one, I think, is. Oh no, we've got 2 here.
I see Breen doesn't improve, unfortunately, so he's in P15.
So we still have the Audi lockout at the front, but good lap from Luke McKeon. Pole position for tonight's race, round 7 at Spa-Francorchamps for the CXR World GT3 Championship.
So whilst we're waiting for everything to come through, let's just take another look at the championship standings. So as you said before, Peter, he should be able to wrap this up, I think, with just a solid result tonight.
Yeah, a strong finish. Even if it's 4th or 5th, it's going to be enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if Luke wins. So.
Well, it's going to be interesting between Luke and Nacho, by the way, because
I think they're
on
for
pole and Nacho Gaspar in second. So as there's only 3 points between the two, it's going to be interesting for that position in the championship going into last week's final round at Silverstone.
Luke in second could extend that lead as well to Nacho, who's obviously starting second as well. So yeah, we really do have a good fight on our hands here. It should be a very interesting race. All right, we have the gridding info, I think.
There we go. So for tonight's race at Spa-Francorchamps, it's Luke McKeon on pole position, followed by Nacho Gaspar in P2, Peter Smith P3, Mohamed Janko in P4, Joel Evans P5, Morgan Thompson P6, Jaume Torres P7, Billy Fletcher in P8, Paul Mounet in P9, Kieran Smart P10, Aaron Rose P11, Lewis Rose on P12. As usual, they're close to each other. Mark Fletcher, P13, Callum Brandt, P14, and Matthew Dambreen, P15, Adam Southgate, P16, Matt Crow, P17, Dominic Furser, P18, Matthew Hodges, P19, Stephen Bird, P20, Dries Kader, P21, Chris Simmons, P22, Jonathan Vinagre, P23, Miles Owens on P24, P25 is Stuart Wyness. Aaron Taylor, of course, is race control. He made that mistake. So we've got Jess White on P26 and P27 is Stephen Futers.
I think the drivers are starting to line up. I believe it's about half a lap, isn't it? It's not a full lap because that is a long lap.
I think it's on that back straight just before Blanchimont where they grid up and then have that short run until the bus stop, and then it's Then we're waiting on Luke McKeon to set it all off.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry,
think we're-
Greg. Can't help it, mate. It's his name. Right. Well, Phil, we'll see you after the race, mate.
Yeah, good luck, guys. Have fun.
Cheers,
Cheers,
man.
Phil.
So that's the pace car setting off. And I reckon Luke will probably leave a gap straight away to make sure that he's clean to go for the green. Coming up to the bus stop. Some people trying to put a little bit temperature into their tires,
I think
weaving
they're
around.
going to need to go a bit quicker to do that than they are at the moment. Right, so
And we're gone.
we're going.
I do think Luke took a little bit of a wide exit there on the bus stop. Then again, he had Nacho on his inside, but going into turn 1.
And Lewis
We've
Rose
got-
trying it. Oh, no, he doesn't. I thought he was going to take his brother there.
And I think it was Morgan Thompson on the inside of Jaume Torres, who just tucks in behind Morgan, going up to Arouche, into Radion and onto the Camel Straight.
I think something happened with Stephen Bird, if I read that right.
Ooh.
He's in the pit. Or he's starting from the pit, maybe. I'm not sure 100% what's happened there.
It almost looked like somebody put his car on the inside of Radion, and it looked like Aaron Rose or Lewis Rose. But all went through well. Currently on board.
So far, then, just having a quick look, Matthew Danbreen and Southgate have gone up 1 position each. Callum Brandt dropping 2 as a result. Stuart Winus has had a good start. He's up to 21st, up 4 places. And ahead of him, Jonathan Vinagre has gone up 3. Oh, that is
replay
Stephen
of...
Bird. That was him then. So Dries Kadir and Stephen Bird, I think.
Yeah, it looked like Dries Kader lost control of his car and...
Peter Smith's had an issue. He's sliding down. He went down to 12. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, let's have a little look on the replay. Looks like it happened going in through Pulhan. Maybe lost the control of his car. Let's see. And he
Oh, there
did.
she goes.
And I think it all
Luckily,
had to do
no
with...
damage.
I think it all had to do with if you go too much on the outside curb before turning into Pulhan, it really unsettles the car. It's actually something you don't want to do, but he's now on P11. He really has to fight back, and it's exactly what Luke's want.
You see,
So
if
it's
you
still...
start sliding around, tyres aren't warm yet.
No, it definitely takes about 2-3 laps before you really have the temperature into the tires.
Well, nothing to worry about for Peter, really. Just keep a calm head. There's plenty of time. We're only 2 minutes in.
We're looking at a battle between Morgan Thompson and Jaume Torres, who've been doing this since the start of the race. Jaume Torres will have that nice little draft coming onto the Camel Straight, though. So let's see if he will be able to go for a move into Lecom. Seems like the Ferrari has a decent top end, though. He's not really getting any closer. Some late braking there. Straight away on the back of Morgan. Stays behind Morgan, though. Luke still leading in front of Nacho Gaspar only by half a second. Joel Evans not that far away, 1.2 seconds, who's being followed by Mohamed Janko, Morgan Thompson, and Jaume Torres. While we see an overtake of Chris Simmons on Miles Owens. Looked like a nice move around the outside. But back on board with the battle for P5. Morgan Thompson keeping his car on the inside, defending for Jaume Torres. Will he hang around? Puts his car on the inside now, but the next one will be going to the right again. But oh, he's in front of Morgan.
In front, yeah.
Oh, nice move there. Great racing from Jaume Torres and Morgan Thompson, the both of them. But that puts Jaume Torres in P5. Did something happen with Matt Crow? Looking at it, he's dropping positions down and it's showing him out of this race. We'll have to wait and see.
Just coming up to the end of lap 2 with Morgan Thompson currently sitting in 6th position, half a second behind Jaume Torres. There's little train of cars, the headlights are on, you can start to see them on the track, so it's getting darker. So Nacho Gaspar currently only 2 laps in, but has the fastest lap of 2:17.45.
And he's definitely on the back of Luke.
Kieran Smart
pressure.
On board with Kieran Smart at the moment, seeing him in sweaty cam on the inlay there. Trying to catch up Paul Mounier.
As calm as usual.
Oh, look at that. Self-defense mechanism on the McLaren there.
Shooting some flames.
Stay away.
Jaume Torres and Morgan Thompson right in front of those two.
Yeah,
Jaume Torres dropping back some positions.
Oh, I think there's been contact.
Let's see what happened.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure though, because it seemed like Morgan. They were side by side, but it seemed
I don't think he touched him.
Oh, it looked like Morgan kept his line, but well, we'll have to wait and see.
Hello.
Or maybe he lost it on his own. Left race control. They will have a look into it for what happened. Maybe it's just deemed as a racing incident. We'll have to wait and see. Well, yeah, Jaume Torres definitely suffers from the damage. He do have that one fast repair though. But he's spitting so early. He will have to come in twice though. I don't think he will be able to keep on going after this pit stop. Looking at Billy Fletcher, P6, followed by Paul Monet, and relatively close to his teammate Morgan Thompson.
So a little train of 4 cars here.
All going wide. I would reckon they will all take that off track there. So I think that will be a thing tonight, Mark. The off tracks.
You think we're going to have a few drive-throughs there?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, because if you keep doing that every single lap, I mean, that's one of the few. There are so many places on Spa where it's really close to get that off track. So yeah, I think we wouldn't have to be surprised if we do have some drive-throughs because of it.
What's the limit? Is it 20 or 15? I forget.
No, I think we have. Do we have 17?
Oh, is it 17?
15. Yeah. Well, at least it's our racing who has 17, and I think we were close to that same incident limit.
Look at this fast section, Eau Rouge. Oh, someone's going to have a little sniff here, aren't they? We've got 2 Ferraris. Oh, hold on. The Audi's just overtaken the...
yeah, he just disappeared. He just disappeared for a little bit, but he's taken the position. Puts himself in P16 in front of Callum Brandt. So Luke and Nacho are pulling away from Joel Evans. Peter Smith just overtaken Kieran Smart, puts himself in P8.
He overtook Kieran very easily as well, so I'm not sure what part of the circuit that was. He was half a second behind, and he's already 1.5 ahead.
Well, maybe Kieran thinks about the championship standings, doesn't want to be in the way of what's going on in front of him. So could be that he just stuck well, or thought, well, just let him go and try and follow him maybe. Now has a gap of 1.5 seconds too close to Paul Monet. But this time around, it's not a McLaren versus an Audi. It's two Audis in front, actually. The top four are four Audis. Last week at Interlagos, we saw an amazing race from Nacho Gaspar in second, just finishing in 2/10 behind Peter Schmidt after 45 minutes of racing. So, but then again, that was the Audi versus the McLaren. Now it's two Audis. But I did predict it though that the Audis would be quick around this track tonight. This time around, no fastest lap, although Joel Evans and Mohamed Janko both put in their best fastest lap. The same goes for Billy Fletcher and Paul Monet. Pretty much everyone just puts in a fastest lap of the race for the personal. Right, the race control has come in and Morgan Thompson is black flagged for causing a collision, and that's the incident we saw between him and Jaume Torres. So he will have to take his drive-through penalty, currently in P5.
And you can't combine that with a pit stop. It's not a stop and go, is it?
Well, he also has to do it within 3 laps. Oh, looking at Lewis Rose and Mark Fletcher, both in the Lamborghini.
Well, if he's got to push 3 laps, he might have enough fuel to the end, but I presume he's got to do it separately anyway. So currently on board with Lewis Rose, following Mark Fletcher around, both in the Lambos. So Peter Smith quietly going about his business. He's now up to 8th.
And after 10 minutes of racing, the field is still reasonably close to each other. There are a couple of gaps that are a little bit bigger, 2 seconds, 3.6 seconds. But then again, if something happens, you could easily drop a lot of positions. Oh, look at Paul Monet putting the pressure on Morgan Thompson now. Morgan Thompson let Billy Fletcher go. So let's see if Morgan immediately comes in on this lap to take his penalty. On board Kieran Smart. Could also still gain quite some positions. Currently in P9, and with Morgan having to take that penalty, he will get into P8 as well. I think it's Morgan Thompson still staying out. Maybe there's some team tactics. Morgan Thompson trying to hold off Paul Monet and let Billy Fletcher try and create that gap. Who knows? Oh, that looks so great, seeing those cars following each other through a Rouge and Radillon. And keep in mind, Mark, we were talking about the incident limits. Keep in mind that a car contact is 4 incident points.
So domino effect goes down well then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that stacks up quite quickly if you have maybe 1 or 2 car contacts. And so, yeah, you want to try and keep...
Not only is Robin
make any contact. Yeah.
World.
Oh.
As we say that, look at them.
Yeah, Peter Smith goes in P7. He went around the outside. I think he did take that off track there, but puts himself in P7. It's now behind Morgan Thompson. But this is a nice group to follow. Cheers for the follow Daburski as well as R70 NAS. Welcome to the CXR TV stream. Currently round 7 of the World GT3 Championship hosted by CXR Racing. We're at Spa-Francorchamps, as probably most of you already recognized. And at the moment, looking at a better... Oh, and there's some contact there. Wow. Not quite sure what happened there. It did look like Peter's car was a little bit unsettled, but he turned into the pits and there was some contact between him and Peter, dropping Peter down to P12. And it's also, who was the other driver? Paul Monet, I think, who dropped down to P13. So we'll have to wait and have a little look at the replay once it's up there. But on board with Aaron Rose, followed by Mark Fletcher and Lewis Rose and Kieran Smart. All very, very close. Who's got the best draft in line to go into Lake Cum? Oh, I think there we have it. Lewis Rose on the inside of Mark Fletcher and takes the position, P7, following his brother Aaron.
I expect no love lost there between those two. So Nacho Gaspar, just looking at the front, he's keeping it constant gap of half a second. So still behind Luke McKeon, hasn't managed to run away like a lot of the other races where the leaders tend to run off a little bit. We had that great finish last week, wasn't it, where Nacho had maybe if there was a couple more laps would have been more interesting.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, Stephen, it was really unfortunate. We saw what happened. I think it was just unfortunate loss of control from Dries. But yeah, that's a shame with the 3-minute 30 tow. Hope to see you next week at Silverstone, though. So it's looking like Falcon Sim Racing is having a good day at Spa at the moment, with Luke McKeon leading the race. Joel Evans in P3, Mohamed Janko in P4. 3 drivers of their team in the top 5. Oh, Chris Simmons and Miles Owens. Miles Owens just lost the control of his car right in front of Chris. Not quite sure. It looks like Chris has a little bit of front end damage. Hopefully nothing too major. Back on board with Mark Fletcher, who's now on the back of Lewis Rose again. Oh, having a good run going through a Rouge Radion. He probably will have that draft, but Kieran Smart still able to follow them as well. Actually, it's Kieran Smart now trying to go for an overtake on Mark Fletcher. Mark Fletcher defending. Keeping his car on the inside line, going into Lake Cum. And I do hate to say it, but race control has given another penalty to Morgan Thompson for the incident we saw happening about 2 laps ago. So he has another drive-through.
Oh dear. He'll no doubt be raging with it. So Peter's going to do it the hard way then. So he's up to 11th at the moment. I'm just having a little look. I think between 1st and 5th there's a 9-point gap. So I suspect that's where Peter wants to try and finish tonight, is in 5th. But it becomes a little bit more of a tall order having to do it twice.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that easy tonight for him after what happened. After he spun on his own in the opening lap and then had that incident we just saw. So, well,
I'm just looking at the timings. He's 4th, 5th, 6th, He's about 10 seconds behind Billy Fletcher in 5th at the moment, so possible.
Paul Monet takes the position from Adam Southgate, and Mohamed Janko just put in the fastest lap of the race with a 2:17.4. Callum Brand coming into the pit, so he's probably one of the first ones to go for the mandatory pit stop. Luke trying to break that draft to Nacho Gaspar, still within that half a second.
This is where you want a bit of DRS, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I do think DRS makes the overtake a little bit too easy, doesn't it, on the straight? Meantime, Joel Evans still P3, Mohamed Janko P4, Billy Fletcher P5, Aaron Rose P6, Mark Fletcher P7, Lewis Rose P8, Kieran Smart P9, and Matthew Dambreen rounds up the top 10. And it's Kieran Smart, Lewis Rose, and Mark Fletcher who are still close to each other. Aaron Rose pulled a little bit of a gap to Mark. And a little bit further down we see Matt Crow, who's about half a second behind Dominic Furser for P14.
Might well come down to a pit stop strategy again. Just we're coming up to this the 9th lap, so I suspect they'll be pitting within the next probably 4 or 5 laps.
Well, like Stephen is saying in chat as well, it could be that Nacho is saving fuel as much as possible to try and to jump him into the pit. So that definitely could be a strategy. But we do know that Luke can be quite good on pit stops as well. There we have it. Luke McKeon now with the fastest lap of the race at 2:17.2. And I do believe that Mark Fletcher has overtaken Lewis Rose for P8. Sorry, made that P7. And Kieran Smart still behind them all, but Matthew Dambreen is closing in as well.
I suspect they're going to pit both at the same time, I think.
Could be. We definitely have to wait and see. I'm not quite sure if they will.
Or not?
Sorry, say that again?
I said, is this a type of track where you would change your tyres necessarily, or is it literally just...
No.
dash and go?
No, normally if you got a say 45 minutes or an hour race, you don't need to change tires. You can only do fuel.
Oh, okay.
And that should be okay, unless you really destroyed the tires with a lot of spins and locking up and that sort of stuff. But then again, these cars have the ABS.
Yep.
So locking up isn't that quickly gonna happen. So no, I did.
Ooh. Lewis having a little moment there.
Well, little moment, call it a big moment. He did quite well to keep the car in a straight line though, but he has to drop 2 positions to P10. Puts Kieran Smart in P8 and Matthew Dambreen in P9.
Yeah,
but that was quite the moment.
In a lot of trouble there. Barriers are quite generous here.
I've been driving the Lambo around Spa myself, and what I did notice and what I think happened there was Lewis just being a little bit too much on the brakes while turning in for Puhan, and that really unsettles the back end of that car, which we saw. But like I said, he did a good job keeping the car in a straight line. Well, let's see if he's able to close that gap from 1.8 seconds again to Matthew Dambreen. Joel Evans lost a little bit of time to Nacho Gaspar. It was around 3 seconds. It's now 3.8. And he's fighting for position with his teammate Mohamed Janko. While we see Lewis Rose and Adam Southgate both coming into the pits. While we're looking at the battle between Matthew Crow and Dominic Furser. Norris, Lewis, Callum Brand, and then back to Matthew Crowe. Having quite a nice battle. Audi R8 versus the Ferrari 488 GT3. That's the thing, though. He took that place from Dominic into turn 1, but then you have to think forwards. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you've got the Camel Straight coming up. And if Dominic has a good run here, he will take that position back. So is it wise to take that position into turn 1? I don't think so, but some good close racing between the two.
He's having a little look on the inside.
I think Dominic was defending hard there. Maybe. Oh, Matt lost the control of his car. I think he barely kept it out of the wall there. I think he may be lucky that there was some tarmac.
Maybe you shouldn't be worrying too much about flashing then and concentrating on turning.
Oh yeah, like I said, Dominic. It looked like Dominic was defending hard, maybe moving a little bit on the braking. Yeah. We all know that whole discussion with moving on the braking. Then again, there was a little bit room on the inside, but maybe, like you say, he just lost a little bit of concentration with all that going on. It's now Matthew Dambreen in front of Kieran Smart, so Matthew Dambreen took that position.
So just having a quick look through the classifications at the moment. So Lewis Rose is our current highest pitter, down in 15th. Yeah, the bottom half of the field, I suppose, they've all pitted by the looks of it.
Oh dear, I think, sorry to cut you off there, but I think we'll have the first drive-through which have to do with incident limits.
Oh, already? We're only on lap 10.
Yeah, it looks like Lewis Rose will get that drive-through, or he's very, very close to it with, like you say, he's still 20 minutes racing left, so let's see.
Kieran keeping the pressure up on Matthew Dambreen. I think he's going to have a little sniff at the top here.
Wow, that's some commitment right there. Following each other so freakingly close, going up to Rouge and Radion. Wow.
Better toe, to be honest, through there.
Well, I would think he would maybe get a little bit of aero wash, but I think he just did that very well with throttle control and getting the right line there. So some really nice racing we're seeing here between Matthew Dambreen and Kieran Smart, all for P8. Oh, birthday boy Luke. So Luke it's Luke's birthday, so you could give him a nice little present finishing in P1 here. But then again, it's also the birthday of Adam Southgate, so happy birthday to both.
Well, I hope they brought the cakes in.
And here we are looking at Adam Southgate having a little battle with Callum Brand for P16. So everybody who's still on track racing will get some points for the championship. Because some people dropped out due to incidents, internet connection, or the incident limit. So we still got 20 drivers left on track. Luke McKeon with another fastest lap of the race, but Nacho Gaspar still really close. Aaron Rose is coming into the pits. And Kieran Smart is coming in, followed by Peter Smith and Paul Monet. Again, it's relatively spread out, isn't it, with the regular pit stops? The same as we saw last week at Interlagos.
Yeah, I suspect if Peter's pitting now, it wouldn't surprise me if Luke and Nacho are going to be pitting this lap as well. Because usually Peter's pretty good at stringing out. He's got ahead of him, look at that. Or has he? No, he hasn't. I think his pit box must be further up.
Yeah, his pit box is further up, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Rose first one out. Kieran Smart's going to get out ahead. No, yes, no, not sure.
Yeah, he will be. He will be. He will be in front of Peter.
I'm confused. The leaderboard's going absolutely nuts. What's going on here? Well, I suppose it's the differences. Only a couple of attempts between them. Here they are. So pick the bones out of those three. I think that's Peter's just overtaken Kieran.
Yep. He did.
Much less confusing with the numbers in the windows because I presume they only update on the lap.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So if we look at Lewis Rose, he is actually P11 at the moment.
So the top 9 all still to pit. So not sure if Luke's going to be coming in this lap. He's just coming up to the end. He's coming in. He is.
He is, followed by Nacho. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
No surprise. Oh, blimey. He's tried to do that. Yeah,
well,
top 4. So
Nacho really pushing the limits on the pit entry, trying to get as close to Luke as possible. There we have him. Mark Fletcher, Matthew Dambreen. Dominic Furster and last Matthew Hodges. Yeah.
I think Drew is the only one on track.
Oh, there we have it. Nacho Gaspar jumped Luke McKeon in the pits.
Oh.
So Nacho Gaspar took the lead of the race.
5 seconds quicker in the pit.
Wow.
Luke had a very little pit. I reckon he's taking. Is he taking tyres? Do you think?
No. If he would have taken tyres, he would be still in the pits. I think taking tyres takes about 20 seconds, if I'm correct.
Right. Okay.
Maybe Stephen was right with Nacho really saving a lot of fuel behind Luke, so he could take less fuel during his pit stop and therefore less time into the pit stop as well. But
he's
wow,
carved out a 4-second lead.
Yeah,
that's all in the pit as well.
Hats off to Nacho.
Ay caramba, that's all I can say.
And Mohamed Janko is in P3, so I do think he took that position from Joel Evans, because I do believe Joel Evans was P3 before the pit stops.
Yeah, he managed to take about 1.5 seconds, 1.6, something along those lines in the pit. I was just having a look. Nacho Gaspar's pit time was over 1 second quicker than the next person's quickest, who ironically was Mohamed Yanko. So most of the pit stops tend to be 13s and 14 seconds, which is a bit odd with Luke's because his was nearly 17. So not sure what happened there.
Wow. Yeah, that's very well done by Nacho Gaspar. Very well done. And yeah, there you have it, Falcon Sim in the chat as well, saying the same thing, roughly like as in Nacho for staying for roughly, what is it, 30 minutes, 28 minutes of racing behind another person. You can really save that fuel. But yeah, interesting. But that made the gaps for the top 6 quite high. It's Aaron Rose who's still relatively close to Mark Fletcher. Peter Smith is about half a second behind Matthew Dambreen. I think Peter would definitely want that position from Matthew for the championship standings. And then we have a nice little train that we are currently watching with Dominic Furster, Adam Southgate, Morgan Thompson, and Callum Brand is leading that group of cars. 2 other Falcon Sim Racing drivers.
So not far off coming up to the last 10 minutes of the race. Nacho Gaspar currently leading ahead of Luke McKeon, 3.8 seconds. So Luke has actually cut the gap slightly. Who's ahead of Mohamed Yanko in third. And Joe Evans rounding out the top 4 Audis. And then Billy and Mark Fletcher in the Lambos. So maybe the Lambo isn't as slow as everyone's making out to be.
True. Then again, it's not. It wasn't the easiest car to drive around here consistently. I'm a little bit surprised by the McLarens, although we do know that Jaume Torres, who is relatively quick, had that incident early on in the race and is out of this race as well.
Peter's been had issues twice so far.
And
So
exactly, Peter had his issues as well on track, where he just got the position from Matthew Dambreen. Some sportsmanship there shown by Matthew Dambreen. Doesn't want to take the battle too hard to Peter. But now Peter has a 7.7 gap to Aaron Rose, which with about 10 minutes of racing to go, I don't reckon he will be closing that gap down to actually put up a fight for P7 as well.
Yeah, Aaron's just looking at the lap times. He's roughly on the same sort of par as Peter's lap at the moment. So, like you say, it's
unless Aaron is going to put up a hard fight with Mark Fletcher for P6, you'll never know. He may get that gap down, but yeah, 7.7 to 7.8 seconds, quite a big gap to close in the final stages of this race.
Obviously, trying to get in top 5, the gap is pretty massive at the moment now. So you're looking sort of 12, 13 seconds. So it has actually gone up because he was originally 10 seconds behind.
And there's a nice little group forming behind Peter as well. Matthew Dambreen, Kieran Smart, and Paul Monet. Then a 5.7 second gap to Callum Brand, he's being followed by Dominic Forster and Morgan Thompson. I don't think Phil wants to put up the sweaty cam just to make sure that Kieran stays where he is. Oh, and there we have Kieran Smart on the actual sweaty cam. Not breaking his sweat, actually. I think I already sort of said it, so. But he's having a good race so far. Been battling for roughly 36 minutes for a position, so. Apart from the incidents we saw, we're also seeing some nice racing. Going to the corner with no name leading up to Pulhan. The sun really is setting. It's now behind the little mountains.
So, cough, cough, hint, hint, where's the driver of the day pole? I thought it did with 10 minutes to go.
Either way, we're gonna get the driver of the day. Once it's there, Mark will explain for those who don't know how it works, what to do to put your vote in.
And Kieran just having a little look around the outside. It keeps the inside for the next corner, but then we'll be on the outside for the T1.
Yeah,
so
I think Matthew, it shows Matthew just had a better run. Yeah, he definitely did had a good run.
Who's that? Is that a back marker?
No, that's Paul Monet.
Oh, is it? He was going very slow.
It's Paul Monet. Yeah, I think Paul nearly lost the back end of his car, keeping a very tight line coming out of the bus stop. Then again, he's now right on the back of Kieran. So where Kieran was looking to make a move on Matthew Dambreen, now has to look into his mirrors.
Thank you very much.
Kieran having good run. Matthew defending the inside there. Will he hold it around the outside? Could be done. Making it the inside for the corner with no name. And I think he did actually make that stick. He did. Matthew Dembreen going a little bit wide. Oh, nearly going three wide, leading up to Poohan. Side by side through Poohan. Yeah, he did. But if he's got some spare, that's probably the wise thing to do. But some really nice racing here by Kieran Smart and Matthew Dembreen.
I think if I was
action,
just loiter like he is in the background, waiting for one of them to make a mistake.
That's probably what he's doing.
Just keeping sort of wide racing line on a couple of corners.
Oh, I think Matthew just had a little moment, took some avoiding action.
Thank you very much. Is he going to hold it? No, he's just behind still.
Spoor gonna? Nah, I was reckon so. He's not gonna keep it around the outside through Blanchimont. Breaking into the bus stop. But some nice racing. Very well done by Kieran as well. Oh.
He's gone wide again.
Well, Paul put his car on the inside there, and I think Matthew didn't expect him to be there, so he took some avoiding action going off track. Oh, looking at the battle for the last podium position here, Mark, between Mohamed Janko and Joel Evans.
Only 2 tenths between them. Are these the cheap version of the Lambos? I can never remember.
Or the other way around.
No, I'm sure the Lambo's more expensive. Expensive R8.
Oh, and here we see a battle between Dominic Forster and Morgan Thompson. Going into Lecum. Well done. And keep in mind that Morgan Thompson currently in P13, but he had to take 2 drive-through penalties for causing a collision.
Oh, right on cue. So I was just having a little nose at the league table, actually, current standings, and at the moment there's 9 points. Lukey's has gained 9 points on Peter on the current positions. So looking at that, I'm just trying to work this out. Luke, your 9 points difference gives you a gap of 30. So I still think, of 20. So yeah, it's going to go into the last race. Is that right? I think 29 between them. Yeah, take 9, gives 20. So I think that means a podium's enough for Peter next week to guarantee, regardless of what happens. So, driver of the day. As you can see, bottom right-hand corner. List of all the drivers running tonight in alphabetical order. And all you've got to do is type the number to the corresponding driver on the chart scrolling in chat. No hashtags, no question marks, pound signs, whatever. Just type in the number and it will register your vote. And it's all just for fun. It's gone. Oh, the back went.
Joel Evans. What happened there? Did he lose it on his own?
Hour a little bit early there.
He just lost it on his own. Mohamed Janko doing quite well, anticipating, braking and going around Joel, but It shows how
Oh.
close the field actually was, because Joel Evans now dropped down to 6th position, puts Billy Fletcher in P4 and Mark Fletcher in P5.
So
That was really unfortunate for the Vulcan Sim Racing team, Mark.
It is, but there's no manufacturers' championship per se. So
No, but it would still be nice though, having a finishing car on P2, P3, and P4.
oh, you're not greedy, are you? So a minute left to go. Nacho Gaspar just under 3 seconds ahead, but I don't think I think it will be enough. I don't think Luke's going to claw that back on this lap, unless, of course, there is a accident or incident of some proportion. I'm trying to see where they are on. They've just started lap 20, so it will be the last lap.
Yeah, they're both coming onto the Camel Straight as we speak.
So that will be the last lap. Just having a little look further down, 13, 14, 15, shuffling around. Morgan Thompson's gone back into the pit. Is he short on fuel?
Not quite sure. He
He's
must be short
pit.
on fuel, or...
Well, that's odd. Hopefully he's not relying on crew chief again. So I was saying there was a little battle between those three mid-table there, but that's sort of feathered out. Paul Meunier at the moment in 10th is only 3 tenths behind Kieran in 9th. Just on board at the moment, or watching our leader, Nacho Gaspar, who's now increased his lead to 4 seconds. Just over half of the lap left to go. Sorry, just under half the lap, should I say.
Yeah, and Luke has quite a comfortable gap to Mohamed Janko as well. So I reckon they'll just consolidate and get that position coming across the line. Still, the position for P9 isn't decided yet. The same goes between Joel Evans and Mark Fletcher. And P13, Dominic Furster is being followed by Adam Southgate and Matthew Hodges. Also relatively close to each other.
I suppose I better get my vote in quickly. And just as we say that, Nacho Gaspar crosses the line to take the win ahead of Luke McKeon, finishing 2nd.
Well done by Nacho Gaspar. All played out on pit stop strategy.
And a good finish there by Mohamed Janko. He's shown some good pace over the last few weeks, and now he's followed it up.
It paid off. Yeah, it definitely did. Billy Fletcher with a good P4, and Mark Fletcher P5, Joel Evans P6. And Peter Smith just finished in P8. Aaron Rose did finish in P7. And Kieran Smart with his best finish of this league as well, P9. So now we're waiting on Matt Crow, Morgan Thompson, and Stuart Wyness to come across the line.
So Morgan. He's going for style points.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, fuel again.
So it's only Stuart Wyness on track, coming up to the bus stop chicane. To be the last one coming across the line. There we have it. Everybody finished.
There we go. What a race. There was so much there was action all over the place in that one. Yeah, the start was could have been better. We do expect a little bit better starts than that, but I mean, it was good though, nonetheless. Right, let's get the results up for everybody on screen.
So there we have it. So Nacho Gaspar taking his first win of the season, and a very good win it was too, ahead of Luke McKeown in second place, Mohamed Yanko third, Billy Fletcher fourth, Mark Fletcher fifth, Joel Evans sixth, Aaron Rose finishes seventh, eighth was Peter Smith after 2 contacts pushing him back down the grid. Kieran Smart continues his top 10 crusade, finishing in 9th, Paul Meunier in 10th, Matthew Danbury in 11th, 12th was Callum Brandt, 13th Dominic Forster, Adam Southgate finishes 14th, 15th Matthew Hodges, Lewis Rose 16th, Matt Crowe 17th, 18th was Morgan Thompson, Stuart Winers finishes 19th, Dries Kader in 20th, rounding out the points. Chris Simmons 21st, Miles Owens 22nd, Jonathan Vinagre 23rd, Wame Torres retires in 24th, Jez White 25th, Stephen Bird 26th, and Stephen Futers in 27th.
There we have it. Right, let me just work out the points. We'll get the points up, the championship standings up on screen for everybody.
Drum roll, please. So Peter Smith is obviously going to be leading it. And I think second place is going to be even tighter. It is. It's both even. They can't get much tighter than that.
Wow.
I was right. It was a 20
wow.
point gap. So I suppose I'll live up to my stat name. So Peter Smith, 20 points going into the final race of the season. So I assume he needs to finish with 5 points. I don't know what position that is. I've closed my thing. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. What's fifth? Anyone know off the top of the head? That must be around
the points for fifth.
Yeah. Let's have a quick as I chat. Yeah, 16th. So Peter has to finish 16th or better in the last race.
Okay.
And that will give him a 25-point gap. And I think he'd win on countback, would he?
Yeah.
Assuming
yeah, you would win back up on countback anyway.
So that will be enough for him next week. Luke McKeon and Nacho Gaspar both tied on 132. But I'm assuming, let's quickly double check that. 1, 2. I think technically Nacho should be second on countback because he's had more silver finishes, I think. Oh, no, they haven't. Same, isn't it?
Well, either way, next week they can't get the same points.
That is true. No. I suppose you ain't got to worry about that. But one of them will finish second and one of them will finish third because Mark Fletcher, unfortunately, in fourth, cannot catch 2 and 3. So, just to finalise the podiums, really. But another good race.
Looking a little bit further down, Jaume Torres and Aaron Rose both on 88 points, and Stephen Bird is on 83, Callum Brand on 80. So also for the P5 in the championship, still a lot to play for.
Yeah. And likewise with
further down as well. Exactly.
So only a couple of points separating those guys there. So good to see. And unfortunately, Jez didn't manage to get a point today. I'm not sure he actually started.
I don't think he did in the end.
No, I don't think he did in the end, no.
Which is a shame, because if he even finished, he probably would have picked up a point. But there you go.
It is what it is.
It is. So next week, we're at Phil's favourite track in the world after Bathurst, which is Silverstone.
Yeah,
Are we going to do it in the dark? On snow?
No, it'll be the same track conditions it was supposed to be.
Could liven it up for the last round, couldn't you?
It's a bit dark at Silverstone for night racing. Although that said, it's not like I've never done it. Next week, final round, round 8. And also, the new league announcement will be next week, and also a special event will be held during the gap week as well. So that'll be announced next week as well. So look forward to announcing those next week. Cheers, Mark and Ruben. Stellar commentary as always. Cheers to Neil and Aaron in race control. And cheers for everyone for watching and all the drivers for participating as well. We'll catch you next week. Enjoy the week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you later.